I'm swell. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Is that true?
No,
Okay.
it's actually, I should say
You're in
that.
this room. It's a safe
It
space.
is a
The
safe
lights are
space.
dimmed. You got your backlights on. It's like a spa.
What
You
is that
have my soothing voice.
dulcet tones, I think we like to call that. What is that expression that the kids all did for last year? We listen and we don't judge. That's
What?
it. That's this. Have you never heard that?
No.
Oh yeah, the kids did this thing where they basically it's a giant get out of get jail card free. And you would go to your parents and say, "Listen, we're going to do a exercise, and we listen and we don't judge." And your kids tell you stuff, and you're like inside dying a little bit as they're telling
Oh
you these things, and
no.
you're like, "Ah, we
Like I'm
listen and we don't
judging.
judge." Oh yeah, I was totally judging, but you can't tell them because you agree to play the game, and it's not a
Mm,
good game. As a parent, it's not a good game.
That's not a game I would play.
No, it's not. All right, so listen, we thought we'd kind of do a check-in.
Mhm.
Kind of a check-in, I think is the right
Kind of a
word. Yeah.
year-ish.
We
I mean, we're
started this conversation about a year ago,
yeah. I would
right?
agree.
So
And by this
sitting,
conversation, I mean
you were sitting roughly where I
I was sitting
was.
probably where you are. Yeah,
I was probably sitting in that chair right there.
probably
And
right there.
we were
Yeah.
probably fighting over something and debating over something.
Yeah.
Probably something dumb
Mhm.
because we tended to do that back in the day.
I mean, nothing's changed.
No, now we're just doing it
But
differently.
what we're talking about is this podcast.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of revisit and see where we're gonna go and what we're gonna do with it. We definitely need more sponsors. We need some sponsors who are actually going to pay us at some point, but
Yeah.
I think we need to get some listenership up
On
on
our
that.
journey to be influencers.
Yeah, influencer. That's what a 53-year-old
Um,
influencer. That's going
yeah,
to do.
I thought it'd be fun to talk about like the ups, the downs, the things we've learned, the things we've started to do that we weren't doing in the beginning, the things that we're
Sure,
thinking of doing like eventually in terms of
sure.
everything.
So this is your episode. You get to control
Yeah,
the
like usual, right?
conversation. Oh yeah, like usual. Yeah, okay.
So I know in the beginning we had headaches on headaches on headaches.
Yeah, we
Um,
had some technological headaches for sure.
yeah, we couldn't figure out, and I don't know. This is a bit of a peek behind the curtain if you've
Yeah,
listened
this is behind
intermittently.
this behind the scenes episode.
Yeah, but we had a hell of a time getting our recording setup figured out
Yeah.
because you had equipment
Yep.
and we said, let's try to use it.
Yep.
And it didn't quite work the way we wanted it to. We would get,
It didn't work at all.
yeah, so we had to eventually switch mic setups.
Yeah.
And
Spend some money
then
on microphones,
we got different mics,
which we love.
which are great,
Yeah.
fantastic. They work. Um, and then the second thing we had to fix was laptops, I think.
Yeah. Because remember, we were trying to run it into one laptop and we
Yeah.
ended up running it through two different setups.
Yeah.
So we ended up buying another laptop,
Another
which
Mac
was,
here. That came up kind of,
that was just random. That's
yeah.
just the way that happened. Listen, I think some of it was stubbornness on our behalf.
We can make it work.
We can make this work. We
Yeah.
can do this. I think some of it was,
Lack of knowledge.
no, a lot of it was lack of knowledge. Really, we thought it was going to be a hell of a lot easier.
We thought it was going to be plug and play. We thought it was going to be
Yeah.
you plug in a couple mics, download this program, or log into this program, and you just start talking. Like,
Yeah.
how tough could it be?
Yeah.
And we learned very quickly that this is
Tougher than you thought.
tougher than we thought. But also we were like, whatever, we're just going to keep plugging away.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's come out of this, right, like going back to the beginning for me, is that all of that stuff just made us better.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think in the long run, because we learned what not to do as much as we learned what to do. I think that we have, you know, where we've gotten good at is kind of adapting what we've done.
Yeah.
I mean, we've literally moved rooms. Right.
Yeah.
We've picked up the studio and moved the studio.
Yep.
We haven't done some of the things that we've talked about doing, but I think that
Yeah.
we haven't brought in a guest yet. We're a year into this. I mean,
Ish.
it's almost like It's almost like we refuse to bring in a guest because they're going to upset the dynamic of
No,
who we are.
Okay, we'll pause.
Okay.
Let's so initially that was one of our big plans is
Yeah.
we wanted to start talking to
other
other
entrepreneurs.
small business owners, entrepreneurs, large business owners.
Yeah.
And we put a pin in that because we said we got to figure out our own recording stuff first.
Yes.
Um, so
I think we've solved that.
I think we have too. I think we have finally found a good setup for the two of us to run this. I think it seems to be working pretty well.
Yes.
Um,
The last tweak made a big difference,
yeah, the last week, eh? As oddly as
as simple as it was.
yeah, it makes no sense to me.
You know,
And then I lost my train of thought. I was gonna
you're
say,
getting old.
I was thinking about so many different angles on this. Because with this whole guest thing, my mind went to, well, heck, where are we gonna do this guest episode now? Because I do think it's a necessity.
Oh, I do too, because there comes a point where we need outside opinions
Yeah.
on what this is.
And so my thoughts go to us having somebody call in and we put it on this monitor.
100%. Like, it's gonna show up in our screen,
Yeah.
right? Like, there'll be a third box there because there's gonna be a third person on the link. Listen, I think we've done well for our first year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether or not, whether or not people are listening right now is a different
Well,
story.
here's the other side of it. We didn't really put this out for a while. We spent probably 5, 6 months
Oh, yeah. The better part of last
tweaking
year.
the better part. Like, I
Yeah.
would say we really started releasing this stuff and marketing ourselves in the fall.
Yeah.
Probably like
Yeah, and I would say even then late fall. I think it was probably
yeah.
closer to November when we started to really pump out some other things that go with it. I still think we're missing one big thing, and I think one of the things that we've talked about is we've never tapped into Apple podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
We've never done it. I don't know what the process is, and maybe it's one of those things when I got a spare minute, I'll go and find out
Right, I
what the
totally forgot
process
about
is.
that.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard, but I
No.
know part of I guess phase 1 for us was and I think this is all topical because
Topical or comical?
oh, I think it's very I think it's a one-to-one parallel that most people see when they start their own business.
Yeah.
It's like you think this is gonna be
Oh, it's a great, great analogy.
right, like you think
You have this
this
perception.
you have this perception, yeah, like, well, we're gonna plug in some mics and record.
Yeah.
And then we spent 6 months being like, we're not putting any of this out, or
Yeah.
like we're not announcing it, not until we get better, not until we this, and not until.
Yeah, we did a lot of not untils.
Okay.
I will say that.
And then we started putting out posts.
Yeah.
So because we had said, hey, we want to start putting out social media stuff. We think it's a good way to get some of our content out. And then it became, well, like, how do we get
Yeah.
this out?
And then we were back to learning again,
And yeah, and then we were back to learning. You're right.
right? Like, because fortunately you've done the Instagram and that
Yeah.
stuff for the most part, and I take care of the YouTube. But I will say, you don't understand how many steps there are in this process until you actually do it on a pretty regular basis. I'll be honest with you. I think one of the biggest challenges with it is not the content. It's not the conversation.
No.
It's getting out in front of everything, right? We're you can't running week to week is exhausting, right? So I'm going to record this week, I put on Friday. Record this week, put out on Friday. Having content in the can,
Yeah.
and being able to
Batching
say
it is huge.
batching is huge,
Yes.
and and you know what, like. It's like when you're talking about your business, like you sit down Monday morning, you do your reports to your clients, right? You batch it. You're done for the week. You don't have to think about it for the week. When I can sit down at the computer and do the YouTube, I don't have to upload them. I just have to create them so that I can, at one point can batch upload them and schedule them down the road. Those little things become big things. Because if you've got to do that every week, you've got to set time aside every week. And by the time you start it, it's an hour here, it's an hour there. Whereas if I can sit down and do 2 weeks, 3 weeks at a time, it's much, much easier.
10 out of 10 agree
Scheduling
with you.
makes this task so much easier.
Yeah, and even having to learn, I guess, to systematize things.
Yeah.
Because the other week, I had to pop into ChatGPT. I leaned on our buddy.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, I need a good workflow for managing this, and this.
Yeah.
And it spits back out. So you're managing your business Instagram, your podcast Instagram, you're managing the Spotify, and like listed all these things. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, wait a minute. And then it was like, you're also managing the YouTube shorts the blah blah blah, and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh crap. I was like, we have a lot more managing all like, and it like I didn't,
Yeah, you don't understand the steps until you've been in the
but
process.
also I didn't realize how much we were sort of putting out content wise.
Yeah, and I think the hard part is how do you well, and I think one thing that we haven't learned yet is how do we get it to the point where whether it's the content or the process or whatever, how do we get better listenership? How do we
Yeah.
grow that
Yep.
listenership?
Yep.
Because I think that's the next step for us. I think with the content, you and I can discuss these things until we're blue in the
Yeah.
face. It doesn't matter
Yep.
whatever we start with. I mean, last week we sat down and we started talking about something, and the whole hour spiraled into
Trust.
something completely that wasn't even on our
Yeah.
list. Which is fine when there's no guests and it's just us. But how do we take that listenership
How
and
do you grow
get
an
how do
audience?
you grow an audience?
Yeah.
And I think that's the next big curve for us is how
I
do you grow an audience?
Yeah, it's funny because we're like everything. You think you conquered the thing. Okay, we've learned how to record it. Well, now you have to learn um how to pull out those reels, those things.
Yeah.
And you have to start diving a little bit into, well, when are we posting them? How are we posting them? How are we cross posting them?
Yeah.
What's a good way to clip it?
Yeah.
Like, are we leaving it on a cliffhanger? Are we ending it
Oh, we actually had this conversation a couple weeks
right?
ago,
Like,
right? Like I thought one way and you thought something completely different. And
and,
we were like, oh,
and we,
and it was kind of both of us had this moment of,
I don't know which
oh,
way to do
yeah,
it.
what's the right
Yes.
way, right? And I think that might be a challenge that we're gonna have to face this year. I think building an audience and building a guest portfolio,
Hmm.
I think are the next two big things. But going backwards to when we first started, we came into this with no expectations.
Yeah, I think that's why we have been okay with what we've been doing. Is both of us said um, our expectations are very low. Like we're not expecting anybody to listen to this. And man, anytime we even get views or listens, like when I pop into the YouTube or I see the Spotify, and I'm like,
Let's find out. Go over here. Easier. Like going to our YouTube right now.
yeah,
Okay, I'll give you an idea. Let's go and see what our YouTube and some of these numbers are going to be horrific, and you're going to be like, oh, why am I doing this? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you get that one video that
sure.
gets a
Are we
thousand,
going for virality?
right? Let's see here. Popular funk. What funk? Like going
Oh
back to
yeah,
9 months ago was one of our busiest, and it didn't have a ton of views, yet there's not an episode here that doesn't have any views,
yeah.
right? Like everything has been watched in some way, shape, or form, and now it's like, okay, well, what's next? How do we?
Well, the other week we started posting YouTube Shorts, and
Yeah,
we were getting some. So what I'm getting at is, first we learned, hey, here's how we record.
yeah,
The second stage to us became, hey, we need to start turning this into a content machine, sort of.
yeah,
And now we're kind of in between stage 2 and 3, where we gotta figure out how to run phase 2 properly, how to run this content machine
yep,
well,
yep,
but we're starting to look at phase 3, which is how do we grow the viewership?
yeah,
And we started exploring with these YouTube Shorts.
yeah,
And I remember we did something, I posted it here, an hour later, we had 290 something views on this YouTube Short, and I was like, "What is going on? How does this even work?"
yeah, and yet we still don't know.
I still don't know.
Still have no idea. And I think this is where, like we talk about, in the podcast all the time about professionals and bringing,
Mhm.
and yet here we sit, two guys, we could be sitting around the dining room table having this conversation. We still don't know what the hell we're doing on the
No,
most
but
part.
I also think this has been one of those creative outlets that also allows us to tweak, change, learn. Um,
And I think that I agree with you. I 100% agree with you. I think we've gotten better at what we do
yeah,
in our business and in our side and our real business
yeah,
by doing this business because
yeah, I agree with you.
I think it brings an awareness to what we do a little bit more. I think it brings us to the point of having conversations with ourselves.
Oh, that's
Um,
a huge one. I was telling your wife about this the other day because it came up when we were meeting with somebody. And at this meeting, a topic came up, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, I was talking about that on my podcast." And she was like, "You got a podcast?"
Say it all the time.
And then we kind of, drifted the conversation. I didn't mention, and she was like, "So tell me a bit about this." And I was like, "It's just this, and that." And we kind of just, we don't have a lot of viewers, but I was like, it's almost like a business therapy session
That it's exactly how it feels when we sit down and start talking about
because the
stuff.
amount of times that like you come in here and we talk about whatever, and like you'll see me looking up and I'm doing my stupid faces, and I go, all of a sudden something is,
That light bulb.
yeah, something's clicking,
Yeah.
or something has been reinforced.
Or something's been pointed out that you're doing wrong. And,
Yeah,
and I've
yeah,
and I've sat here and had conversation with you and said in my head, man, you got to get better at this, or you got to change this, or you got to alter this, or here's a different
yeah,
perspective that I wouldn't have because of what I do in the company, where you're sitting from the outside going, huh, maybe you should think about this.
yeah,
I think that um I think, I mean, hey, listen, I think we've come a long way in a year.
yeah.
I think I think one area where we could really kind of grow this is direct communication. We keep putting it out in a way that hoping people are going to see it. Whereas the YouTube shorts have the ability to embed them into emails through drip campaigns. That kind of
Oh,
right, direct communication to people that we think past client wise, hey, we thought we were talking about this that made me think about you. Here's our snippet on this.
yeah,
Right, I think there's an element of that that would help grow. I will tell you that most of the people that I tell about it love the idea.
yeah.
Some of them have gone and subscribed to the channel. I got one of my adopted kids, we call him the foster kid.
That's also part of it, though, is we aren't necessarily, we're still not pushing hard,
No, no.
and I think,
So
um
hit that like and subscribe channel.
you're a YouTuber.
Eh,
But like legitimately, I think that's also part of it. Um, because as much as we're trying to grow this thing, we're also trying to grow our own
Yeah,
stuff, right? And they
100%.
all go hand in hand. And so it's like this playground where you get to try new things,
Yeah, it really is like a playground
right? And so,
because it's our opinions right now.
yeah,
Right? In a lot of cases, we're giving our opinion on what we see, whether that's right or wrong, whether people, believe us or not. That's, it's just the way it is. But I think that we're getting better. I really do.
hmm,
And, like when you sat down earlier today and you said, I needed this.
hmm,
I'm at that point where when I haven't recorded in a week, I'm like, huh. And I don't know if addictive is the right word. I don't like the word addictive, but
no, you know what I think it is? I think it's the business therapy.
I do too. I think you're 100% spot on with
That's what
that.
it is. And so
It's nice to know somebody else is going through the same things you are.
ups and downs, because
Ups and
what
downs.
happens is normally, and this is a peek behind the curtain that I'll give before we take a break.
Sure.
What happens is we sit down and go, "Hey, what's going on?" And it's normally like, you were working in your office. I was working in here today. You messaged me. I was like, "I'm just sending this last email. Jump on in here." And I'll go, "Hey, like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
And you're like, "Boom, boom, 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 boom. Good, the bad, the ugly."
Yep.
And then we kind of just, you know,
We just get into it.
we just get into it. And
Yep.
sometimes I go, "Whoa, whoa, 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 pause, pause, pause."
Yeah.
Like, we'll save this for the
Hold
episode.
that answer
Other
question.
days,
Yep.
it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like we actually kind of started recording something,
And I had to stop.
and I asked you a question, um, and you were like, "Whoa, whoa, I'm pausing this. We're not recording this."
Yeah.
And it,
Do you find that as we're doing this and when we're sitting down and we're having these conversations and we're talking about this stuff, that it's triggering stuff for you outside of work?
in what way?
I find that when we're talking about things and for example, last week we talked about relationship building. I have found that it's made me when I'm talking about relationships and stuff like that is it's expanding what I mean on the way of a relationship. So we talk about client relationships all
Uh-huh.
the time. For me now, I'm starting to think of, okay, when I pick up that phone and I know I'm going to get the dumbest question on the planet
Uh-huh.
from somebody
Uh-huh.
else, I'm like, okay, you got to be nice to these people, or you've got to, you can't say, are you stupid? Right? Like,
No matter how much you
no
want
matter
to.
how much you want
Yeah.
to, I find that it's kind of, I find anyway, for me, for the most part,
So here's like why
I'm
I
kind
think that.
of, yeah, like
I I think
I'm
this is
more even keeled than I used to be.
I think I don't get that, but
Okay.
I get something different.
What do you get?
For me, it reinforces a lot of things where I go, "Ah, okay. We're moving in the right direction.
Okay.
I'm building this the way that I think this should be built." Or you go, "I think this is an important side of the business." And then you talk it out with somebody, and then you go, I don't know," or
Mm.
something like that I think is important. All of a sudden, you echo an opinion, or you say something that goes that makes me go, yeah, yeah, yeah. This is right. So to me, I think that's because we're in totally opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of our seasoning.
Oh,
So
I think that's a huge
I,
advantage to
for
us.
me, I go, okay, like this steel is being hardened in the proper manner.
I have an idea. Let's come back to it after this.
Okay.
Wake up to the world you've been missing. Time to jump out of bed in the morning. No day, no life, now we're living. Can you feel it in the air that you're breathing?
You know how hard it is to clip that crap out.
Come on, really?
Yeah, it's not easy. Okay, welcome back. Thanks to our sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought to you by BetterHelp.
Right. Okay, so here was, as you were talking a little bit before the break, you said about, polar opposites
Uh-huh.
of experience. So, I'm 20 years almost, you're coming up on 4 or 5, we think. I
What
think
am I, a stray dog? You don't know the age of it?
I don't know. I think an interesting take would be to find somebody somewhere in the middle
Uh-huh.
at 10 years from a different business side of business, like not mortgages and not real
Ah.
estate, and let's get a third person. And they could be a special guest once a month type thing where we bring them in and we talk about their business. And it could be the same person, it could be 3 or 4 people, whatever we decide to do,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be,
Okay.
right?
I think that's actually a really good idea.
Because if you bring somebody in with a 10-year experience,
They're
they
like
may
they're
not have,
the center.
yeah, they would have started 2016,
Yeah.
right? They would have a different perspective as well because they would have come in and the market would have gone in our business through the roof,
Yeah. So, okay,
right?
so here's the question. Do you pick somebody like a lawyer? Do you pick a realtor with that 10 years experience? Do you pick
Let's get outside the business. I think if we like outside of our
Yeah.
businesses, I don't think a home inspector is really, because I think that's a
Mhm.
whole different
Well,
niche.
to me,
And
I think there's a couple things that one, we got to find a way to get guests on this year.
easy
I
peasy.
think the
I
next
I think I agree.
Q2, our focus should be, well, I guess we can talk about what our
Yeah.
focus should be. Like, let's brainstorm what we're thinking for the podcast. Um, we systemize,
Systemize.
whatever the word is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we can start by not making up words.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, all words are made up. So,
that's a valid point.
we're gonna figure out a system
Yeah.
for our social media stuff,
Yes.
and I think getting a cadence that makes sense.
Yep.
That's one thing I know I want to get
Yep.
sort of down pat. Um, two, also starting to market our YouTube and our Spotify channels more,
Yes.
because as of right now, through our social media, we're not really pushing.
No, and I think one of the things that, like when I look at it and I think, okay, our Facebook banners, our Instagram banners should all have
That's a
at
really good idea too.
at All Things Conversational podcast right on them. Greg gets out the pen and paper and writes this down because it's important, but because we tend to forget what's important when it comes to the podcast. But I think I think that's an avenue that we need to take is, we've got to get more of that kind of stuff
That's a
out
genius
there,
idea.
right?
I know. I think you're right. I think redoing our banner that you put on LinkedIn, that you put on Boom, it has your branding, it has our podcast.
Well, we're notorious. We put email address, phone number, website. We never put podcast,
No, I think that's great.
right? And it doesn't have to be. I mean, you may
It can
pick up
literally go in my email signature too.
right. Yeah, email signatures another place. Check us out on our podcast. Check out our podcast, whatever the case may be. I think you will find that really does.
So here's another idea.
Okay.
What if we reached out to our database, said, "Hey guys, we just recorded a quick doodle video like this, and
Yeah.
say, here's who we are, here's what we've done for the past year-ish.
Yep.
We're looking at taking on guests for our small that you have to meet.
Oh
these
yeah, put it on
requirements."
Facebook. Oh yeah, put it on our social networks. You mean?
Or even on to our email databases.
Yeah.
We're looking to just talk to small business owners, whether you are 1 year in,
Oh, great
5
idea.
years in, 10 years in, 15 years in. Maybe we could find somebody who's more senior than you,
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
right?
Yep.
That would be
I'm
kinda
not that
cool.
old that we can't find somebody,
Somebody
but
who's got 5 years on you.
somebody's got
Or you might know
100%.
somebody, through the grapevine.
Yep.
Email. I'm writing all these down.
Good. I think that I think that what, like, we talk a lot about marketing and how we do it in our business and stuff like that. I think this is a great avenue for us to market or to learn how to market ourselves.
So what if
Right.
we use this as a case study?
Sure. How, I don't know, but let's
Or,
start to
you know-
track. We know what like we're a yearish in. We know where we stand today.
Right, but what if we said, "Hey, for the next 90 days, here's what we're doing. Here's our starting
Here's our starting metric.
here's our
We're-
starting metrics for our YouTube, our Spotify, Instagram. Here's how we're going to go about this. Here's the type of marketing we're going to implement."
Yeah. And see
how
what
it looks at
see
the end of
kind of
90 days.
kind of growth we get. I think we need to take a month to get it ready so that we can kind of launch it instead of
Probably,
trying
actually, I'm
to,
with you
right?
on that.
So say if we said for April 20th.
Whatever it is, but we
Whatever it is.
we're putting out 3 posts a week.
Yep.
Or 3 reels.
Yep.
That have to be cross-posted. We're doing a Instagram story each week that's promoting that week's episode.
Yep.
Things
Facebook.
like that. Like
Yep.
we can get
I think we need to itemize what we want to
itemized, that's a good
do
way to say, yeah.
and say, okay, these are the things, divide it up and figure out who's going to do what, when, and put times on it.
But it would be a really cool thing to then be able to present maybe to the brokerage or whatever and say, "Hey guys, here's
100%.
what we did."
Even to your team and say, listen, we can, we did this, we started from scratch.
Yeah.
This was built for this purpose. And we decided to track it after we figured out the technical side of it and how to do it. We decided that we're going to, start to, from here to here, here's what we did. Here's how long it took. Here's
Mhm.
what the outcomes were, and start to record everything down and write it down so that we can come back and say, yeah, this can work if you do it. Right. I
I
just
really
think,
like this idea.
I think it'll be fun. I think to bring some other people in,
Yeah,
will
to
be
me,
great.
and when I think about, I think 1 guest a month.
Yeah, I don't think we want to.
Something like
We don't
that.
want to make it completely guest oriented because I think we lose a bit of our dynamic
Yeah.
with that. But I think
You
where
still
we,
gotta maintain our egos, right? We're still.
it's still about
Well,
us.
here's a question: would you entertain an episode without me here?
I thought about doing it once. I actually thought about bringing one of my kids in
Yeah.
and having a conversation. I don't know. I think it's.
'Cause
I
it's all things
struggle-
conversational. Like to me, I go, if you couldn't make it 1 week, I would pull one of your other realtors.
Yeah, 100%. I have no problem with that.
We can have a guest realtor in
Yeah. Yeah.
under the umbrella.
Under the umbrella. But I think that there's a value in that. I think that somebody who may want to do this but doesn't know how to come in and sit and get over that initial fear, doing it with you or doing it with me and just saying, hey, look, listen, this does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just be yourself and kind of grow your presence yourself. But, once you get over that initial fear of being on the camera and
Mhm.
doing it, it will make your life a heck of a lot easier when you go to do it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not there, the producer's gone. So I guess I'd have to.
Yeah,
take
well,
reins.
the producer's still seasoned in Riverside. Trust me when I tell you. It's one of those things where I think that if we involve others, when we do our little case study and we bring in that guest who's got that 10 years experience, all of a sudden now they want to put it out there. Now
Yeah, for
they've
sure.
got that tool; they can share it, and it can start to draw some
You ever thought
attention
about a
back.
BHAG for this?
Oof, no, I have not. Would I like to get paid from it? Sure. I don't know if you can monetize it though,
I
but
don't know that you can. I don't
I
think.
can't. You do it through sponsorship, really.
Yeah, I don't think this would ever. I
Hey,
guess.
oh, listen, I don't do it for the money. This is
No.
definitely not. This is definitely no. This is a money losing adventure. So anybody who thinks that they're getting into this and is going to make money, honestly, I think for me, the way I monetize it is, I hope that other
Relationships.
agents start to see it.
Oh, we had different answers.
Yeah, like for me, I hope other agents start to see it and start to see that the way we think.
Yeah. Also, that the hurdle to something like this is not as
No,
high as you think.
yeah, but from a like I look at it from, can this be used for recruiting? Can this be used for
Yep.
those people who say, you know what, I thought about going to Coldwell Banker, but I
Knew
had
nothing
heard
about
this.
them or the
I
guy
knew
or
nothing
whatever.
about them, or I didn't know anything about the broker record. And then they find out that I'm batshit crazy, and here we are.
Mhm.
But I think that it's one of those things that it can help you in your own personal business in different ways than I think what we are anticipating as we talk about it, right? Like
Yeah.
from the real estate standpoint, I think this is great because I think the consumer can hear this and go, okay, you know what, this is what this guy is like, or this is
Yeah.
what
They get a little
what's it-
glimpse of
they
you
get a
as
glimpse,
person.
right? So it's no different than a Google interview. Every client goes and Googles you like before you do it, or when I'm
I'd say
hiring
this is
somebody.
better.
What's that?
I'd say this is better. It
Yeah.
shows you as a person, and every now and
100%.
then we get to see your opinions on how they relate to the market and how you run your business and everything.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But to somebody who hasn't done this before, it's how can I incorporate this into my business, right? Maybe they've got a different
Yeah.
angle. Maybe they've got something,
It's
or
funny
maybe
'cause
they become a guest once a quarter and they say, you know what, I'm looking forward to going on and talking smack with
Sure.
Greg and Steve,
it's
right?
certain things that it's a good point you brought up that they might think about implementing some of this in their stuff because I do so much video and I take for granted that not everybody does
Yeah.
so much on video. And not that I do so much, putting out socially, but like a lot of stuff between my clients and myself is done on video. It's
Yeah.
It's easy to show documents, to walk through them. I got a camera here. I plug in this mic and
I say to my team, and I've been saying it for probably 5 years now, video, 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 because video helps your SEO. It helps move you up on the Google pages. When you post on YouTube, it's going up higher and higher and higher on your YouTube page.
I guess cracking the YouTube would be.
Yeah, YouTube's not actually that hard to crack. It's a combination of using YouTube and Google, right? You have to use both, which is not as easy as that part is. You think the Google part of it's harder than the YouTube part.
In terms of like SEO?
In terms of just how you
How you show up on the
use it,
rankings?
yeah, how you show up and how what are you posting and when are you posting and where do you post? Like I have, I think 7 Google pages. What between all the offices and stuff, because they don't allow you. One thing Google has not figured out is how franchises work. So they have not figured out, and it seems so simple, but I have one Coldwell Banker Momentum Realty page for each office.
Yeah.
Well, why? Why can't I have 5 different maps or 6 different maps or 7 different showing the locations on one page? Why does it have to be to that pin, which is really what it comes down to?
Mm-hmm.
So there are some challenges with that kind of stuff. Realistically, that doesn't mean that it's, not doable, but it's just something you have to kind of learn. I didn't Riverside. I had no idea how to use Riverside.
Oh, that thing has been actually better for us than I thought.
Yeah.
It's been more user friendly. It's removed some things that we needed to remove. What about us doing like a live?
So live streaming.
Yeah.
So I think you and I live streaming could be interesting. I would love to try it. I think that's better with the guest. After the first
like a
time.
live stream Q&A.
Yeah. So I caution. Okay. I looked at that. The phone lines and all of that stuff. You need a producer. You need somebody in the room to do it.
I think it would just be us taking questions into a chat room.
Yeah, you still have to have somebody that's going to
Moderate it.
moderate it
Think
and
so?
take. Yeah, I think I from just the technical side of it, trying to pull it off live would be
Let me get Gordon
challenging.
here and-
Yeah, Now all of a sudden, my volume just went up in my ears. Weird.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
See, we're always dealing with technical difficulties.
Yes. You know what it is somebody called, and so it went to my phone.
All right. Wanna
So
take a break?
technical difficulties. Yeah, let's take a quick break and see what's going on.
Wake up to the world you've been missing. Time to jump out of bed in the morning. No day, no life, now we're living.
And we're back.
We are back.
So we've got a pretty dang good list here from our little brainstorming session that came out of nowhere.
I hope you're going to share that with me because I'm going to forget all of it.
Yeah,
Or I'm
I
going to have to
will.
go back and listen to it.
There you go.
There you go. I'm just saying. So what do you got on the list? Tell me the list.
No, I can't.
You can't even read it, can you?
So systems for our posts.
Yep.
Really got to get that dialed in. That
Yep.
kind of leans more on my side of things.
Yep.
And I'm in the works for that.
Okay.
Banners for socials,
That's easy peasy lemon squeezy.
which also includes email signatures.
Yes,
But it's a big one, and I think it's an impactful one.
I think so too.
Email/socials for guests, meaning we wanted to put out a sort of a call to action for some people.
Yeah, and I think
To
we'll
say-
wrap with that today. So that's
Yeah.
a good thing. All right.
And we want to really put a focus on promoting the channels, meaning promoting the YouTube channel, promoting the Spotify.
Yep.
Maybe getting ourselves into Apple.
I was just going to say, add Apple to that
Add
list
Apple
because
to- yeah.
I will look into the Apple aspect of it.
But just to even start promoting, like posting a link to an Instagram story, to a reel,
Yeah.
because right now we're not really posting links to the episodes or anything themselves.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that's happening is it's going on to All Things Conversational's page. And then I'm not picking it up a lot of cases and getting it onto my two pages, right?
Yeah.
So I think that I can't put it up on the Momentum page, but I've got 2 Instagram pages. I've got 2 Facebook pages to get that stuff out onto those pages. I
Yeah.
think would, combination, you're going to have, an exorbitant amount of people
Seeing it.
seeing it.
I think putting together a bit of a 90-day plan that we can use as a small little
Case study.
case study, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I do too.
It'll put some metrics to
Yeah.
it'll make the goals smart, which is whatever actionable.
I think we almost need to have
Measurable.
a brainstorming day of just sitting and going through some of this stuff and saying, okay, what do we want to do? Put together a list and say,
I think to put together this list is going to take us 10 minutes because I think it's pretty simple.
yeah, I think it's the steps once we get into each.
I think
Portion
it's
of it.
executing it that's going to be
Yeah. Yeah, and
pain in the butt.
timelines and stuff like that.
the cracking YouTube.
Yeah.
I think we both agree that the potential on YouTube is greater than Spotify potentially
I think so.
and Apple Music. So I think getting ourselves to crack that YouTube algorithm in whatever manner that is, so whether that's through these shorts, maybe even something like a lead magnet. I'm not sure. Somehow we need to start driving traffic to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of the challenges.
Yeah.
And I think that's just something that we've got to kind of, I think we just got to work on it. Like it's just,
Yes.
it's going to take
Trial
some
and error.
time, trial and error wise, et cetera, et cetera. I just think that for us, we're not so big yet that it's huge challenge. Like when you get to the
Agreed.
point when you get, 3
There's almost nothing we could do that's going to ruin our
no,
channel.
no. And I think
Try
that's,
it all.
I think that's really where we've got to kind of focus on that part of it is,
Yeah.
what we're going to do, to do it, moving forward. So we'll have to see. I do think that the guests is going to be important. I think.
Yeah, well, it's also kind of where the essence of this show started from.
Yeah.
Because we wanted to be able to chat with somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
So part of that also might be us figuring out recording downstairs back again to get the area
Around the table thing.
or whatever.
Yeah, I think the other thing we can also consider is we can send them the link too.
Yeah, they can do it just
right?
from their own
So
house.
they can do it from their own house, from their office, whatever the case may be, somewhere they got some quiet space. Like we took a month-long break when I went to Europe last year. We don't really have to do that. Do you know what I mean? Like we can absolutely, do it from wherever we are.
Yeah.
Right. Like if I happen to be in Simcoe for a day,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong
think
with
that'd be
me,
fun too.
sitting down, getting the,
Granted, the microphone and stuff.
Yeah, but once you got the headphones on, I don't think that that's
As bad.
as bad as it has. We have lapel mics, like we both have
Yes.
lapel mics that we could both be using to kind of dampen some of that down. How that works, again, technology we'll have to figure out.
But
But
that's our list, and I think this is a pretty good live brainstorm for us,
yeah, I think so too.
right?
And
This is kind of what
I think for people who we are going to have on, I think this is the episode that we should be sending them. Hey, this is what we're thinking, right? As opposed to don't go and listen to some of the stuff that we've done. Go and listen to the brainstorming session, because I think the brainstorming session is going to be important, for us moving forward to grow this
also
thing.
for the guests, it shows them that we have a game plan for growth,
Yeah.
potentially, market them and whatnot.
Well, not only market them,
We're
but
gonna need a
help
food
them.
truck person.
Yeah,
the amount that we talk about it.
we need a food truck person. I don't know. I wish we could find Gorillas. The guy who owns Gorillas.
Oh, this grilled cheese thing
The
you were
grilled
talking
cheese
about?
thing, yeah. Yeah. And I don't know these, I don't know these people. I wish I did. But you know what? Like
We can reach out on
a
Instagram.
small restaurant chef, right? Like another similar thing. You got a 20-seat restaurant, somebody who's facing the tribulations of getting up at 10 o'clock in the morning, being in the restaurant, not leaving till 2 o'clock at night, being there 6 days a week. Those kind of things. Those are the kind of conversations that, how do you market it? How do you build your business? How have you built your brand? And remind me to tell you the story about the restaurant after we go off air, because I think it's a good one.
Okay.
But I think that it's I think it's an opportunity for others to participate in this and hopefully help grow their business as well.
Yeah.
So especially if we get repeats, if somebody likes it and says, "Hey, I'll come back," that could be something fun too.
I think that's a pretty good way to end it. So
Yeah. All right. So let's call it a wrap. We'll go off and do our little thing for Facebook and social to invite guests, and we'll see you next week.
all right, take it easy.
Peace out.